Twin Flames. Welcome to this Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Tarot Love reading. I'm Alara the Alchemist. Hope to be your guide on this journey. This reading today, I'm just starting my channel out, so this reading today is kind of my comprehensive overview of how I like to do these once a month at the beginning of the month for myself and just have a general view of the energies and what shadow work I need to focus on. And this is an example of what you would get if you book a reading with me. I've already pre-shuffled the cards, and the ancillary cards I have laid out ahead of time. And I'm going to take the ones that come out for the tarot and then go back and explain how they hopefully all relate to these. I use Intuitive Select. I just keep shuffling until they pop out. Knight of Wands has really been making an appearance lately. Pretty sure he's in with the other decks too. I use the Lenormand cards as a base for kind of the heart of the matter. And this is kind of a hard time right now. You know, we've tasted a little bit of happiness. But Mars is in retrograde, and he is, I'll go over the two planets that popped out on the planetary alignment reading, but it was Mars and Saturn, and those are the first two that came up when I pulled up my retrogrades app. So it's pretty, it always amazes me how the cards align themselves. And this one. Oh my goodness. This ought to be a good reading, guys. Okay. So I know it's a little busy here, but bear with me. So the Lenormand cards that I use for the heart of the matter, it's all about you, ladies. The energies I'm getting right now are that the masculines are kind of in a dark night of the soul, because they are awakening due to the planetary energies, and they are realizing this connection with you, and it's blowing their foundations apart. So in reference to the Divine Feminine, the masculines are wanting to move away from tradition. They're wanting to leave home. In other readings that I watch, that's a major theme right now, is the sense that they're seeing that their Ten of Cups lies with you, and they want to be with you, but they don't really know how to go about it. So let's see what the tarot, Rider-Waite Tarot, has to say about this. Focuses on the lovers and how to make this happen. Your Divine Masculine is your lover above anything else, any label that you could put on him in this world. He is your lover. He is your divine counterpart, the other half of your soul. What feeds your soul feeds his soul. The traumas that have broke your soul are the same traumas that break his soul. Of course, the circumstances and details are different, but it is very apparent to me, living with my Divine Masculine, that everything that he struggles silently through and triggers in me, it's all been along the same vein. You know, abandonment issues, fear of rejection, fear of failure, insecurities, physical insecurities, which neither one of us have anything to be insecure about there. He's a beautiful human being, and so am I, but it's been a long process to come to that, you know, self-realization, really, that we are the Empress. She's very important. I heard her come out earlier when I was pulling the other cards, but let's dive in here. So the Ten of Cups here, we've had a little glimpse of happiness. We've had a little taste of bliss with our Divine Masculine. Okay. As we know, this journey ebbs and flows based on the energies and what traumas we have to go through. Our wheel that we go through this life on is constantly in motion. Sometimes it gets stuck, and that's for us to figure out how to get it unstuck when we hit an unresolved trauma. But we've had a little taste of happiness on both sides. You know, your masculine has felt this as well, and he's wanting to move towards that, but he just doesn't really know how. Um, there's issues from your past, you know. Inner child needs to be healed right now. Your inner child needs to grow and be as strong as this little guy here. He's got his stuff together. He's selling his little flowers in the market. He's giving them to an older lady that he loves. And, you know, this card can represent past relationships, but to me, it just signifies that the inner child needs to be an adult form, basically. We need to heal this inner child so that he can offer cups of love or gratitude or whatever it is that he wants to offer to you. The masculines are focusing on their money right now. They want to be the benevolent provider that they are intended to be. You know, this has been coming up in my thoughts a lot lately about how feminism has been an active deterrent to the divine feminine, because feminism, and I hope I don't upset anyone by this, because my daughter's a feminist, but she also sees my point of view that feminism, you know, we were made male and female for a reason. Females have intuitive, nurturing tendencies, and males have hunter-gatherer tendencies. And this journey of self is to balance out those masculine and feminine within ourselves so that we can be a whole, complete person. But feminines do not have to go about that in the manner that feminism has taught us to do that with. We don't have to be up in people's faces arguing our point ad nauseum. We have a divine connection to our guides and the rest of the collective. So what we heal within ourselves that spills over energetically into our masculine is that it is with light and not might that we win our battles. So as we go through our process of inner child healing and we go within, you know, we realize that we can exert or influence change by simply resolving the issues inside of ourselves, and then it presents in our reality. So what your masculine is focusing on right now is he wants the balance. You know, recent past, he wants to be able to provide and give and be generous, because in the recent past you felt like you're in a self-imposed prison. You know, you have kind of created a situation where you're just touching on your emotions. You may have gone through an emotional upset with the wheel turning, but we've put ourselves in this position based on our inability to control our emotions by not doing the inner child healing. When we go through the inner child healing, it does create momentum within our wheel, within our circle of life. And he wants to, you know, he may have come forward passionately to you. That may have been what the Ten of Cups was about. You know, he may have come forward with a little passion because he sees that because of the situation, the dynamic that the divine masculine, divine feminine has, and the imbalance in it has put you into a position of weakness. And, you know, they don't want to see us that way. They really don't. Affecting more change by doing the work in silence. I know you have to have people to talk to about it, but just be careful of who you talk to, because false light came up in some of the other cards, and our perception of things. And really, you know, these tarot card readings are so helpful because there's a lot of people that think they're twin flames, but there's not a whole lot of people that we can talk to that are actually in the twin flame journey and have been doing the work. So if you have been set upon this journey by your signs and synchronicities and messages from beyond, if you're seeing 1111 a lot, then you're probably on the twin flame journey. But we have to learn to balance out our emotions before it comes up in our reality. So we're wanting to move away from this unfair situation. We don't want to be stuck here. We don't want our wheels stuck here with feeling like we've been imprisoned. This can be represented as our guide, and he's protecting us. We need to know that we have divine guidance and that our adult and our inner child are safe and they're healing, and it is safe to venture out on the river of emotions. But we have to be the empress before we do it. And this is what he wants. And this is what we want. I mean, we signed up for this lifetime as women. Come on. If we'd wanted to go out and cut down trees and, work like a man, we would have. We want to be the woman that we chose to be when we came into this physical form. We want to have all the queens in our possession. We want to have our emotions balanced out. We want to be abundant and prosperous. And this is what he needs. You need to be his safe harbor in the storm, because I know the feminines are going through a dark, tower moment or dark night of the soul right now, but the men are just now awakening to the absolute fallacy that our world has been under. Just for example, it's very hard on my masculine to watch his favorite thing now, NFL, because it's a joke. There's no people in the stands. There's no workers. That's a whole nother vein of thought. But, it's just simple things like that can really crumble their foundations, because that's part of who they've identified with their whole life. That's what they enjoy doing. And when simple things like that start breaking down in our reality, that causes a shift inside of us and inside of your masculine to say, what is going on in this world? We need to be in our truth. We need to cut through the things. There's some clouds on the way, but as long as we keep our sword of truth in the air and we're open to our masculine, then we can exert the change that we need to keep our will forward on this journey of becoming the lover. Dreams of Gaia deck that I use, these cards are absolutely beautiful, and Perception popped out on the bottom of the deck. And I don't know how well you can see this, but this is literally my shadow self. I use these to indicate what shadow work needs to be done. And this is my shadow self. I call her Maleficent because she's a bad bitch. And when she comes out, she resolves things with her sword of truth. She really does for me. I have felt weak and less than most of my life because I'm so empathic that I picked up on everyone else's emotions. And it was hard for me to separate that I was feeling everybody else's emotions beside mine. So integration was the most wonderful thing that I could have done for myself. Balancing my light and dark, accepting those dark parts of myself. Society makes us feel bad for not being Christ-like. And don't get me wrong on that, because I follow Jesus Christ and he is my Father. But society tells us that unless we're the perfect woman straight out of the gate, that we're bad, and we're not. Recognizing that and integrating your light and dark within yourself. The Perception card is guiding us to think about how we perceive our shadow self. We need to look at how we analyze and interpret experiences. And with your masculine going through everything that he's going through, because his card is heaven and earth. And this is indicative as above, so below. So he's really noticing now, and you're the leader, and if you're incorporating this into your life, if you're working on removing your negative so that your light can come through, he's seeing that in you. And he's realizing that it's possible for people to heal and go about their lives, but he doesn't really know how to do it yet. So you have to keep doing the work of integration inside yourself so that it will spill over energetically to your masculine. Be open minded about his situation, and don't give in to false light. I said that come up earlier, but we can't go straight to the mountaintop, guys. We can't be Gandhi. We don't live in a monastery. We don't, we can't block the outside world off. So the false light teaches that if you meditate and pray and do Reiki, false light is as bad as religion, in my opinion. It's a lie, because Jesus showed us the pathway, of true spiritual enlightenment is all about self and your connection to God, not your outside influences. But you have to go through hell. You have to face your demons before you can ascend into your enlightened state. Because if you're not conscious of your demons, if you haven't dove deep into your shadow self and met your demons head on and figured out why they're there in the first place from childhood trauma, then your life's going to be miserable. You'll have periods of happiness, but nothing will ever come to fruition. I use the Thoth Tarot deck. I like these because of the astrological guidance that it gives. And like I said, these are the divine masculines that popped out first. And it's all about Mars. And the divine feminines are about Saturn. And this is what's going on in the subconscious. So again, here we have a mirroring aspect on the card layout of the Ten of Cups. So in the Thoth deck, the Ten of Cups is not a manifested happiness, it's a perceived happiness. So that's the same thing, if you've had a little good run and they're seeing that their happiness, they could have everything with you. But the problem is the happiness that they find with you is nothing that the world has groomed them or programmed them to expect. We are not the White House picket fence 2.5 kids. That's not our end goal. Our end goal is to integrate our dark and light, heal ourselves, spills over energetically to our masculine, and then we take those teachings and the lessons we've learned and go about our mission. His mission is probably 3D. It could evolve into something 5D as he awakens. But, we've been on this journey a long time and they haven't. They've just been going through life not knowing what was going on. So the Nine of Swords here, which that's the Eight of Swords. Nine of Swords comes up for the men, for the masculines, and that has to do with Mars. And it's agony of the mind. And they're having an agony of the mind because they want to come forward passionately to you. They want to bring the fire and the heat and the pentacles. They want to become this person and they just really don't know how to do it. He's fighting his demons in this card. There's, some devil references in this card. And he's trying to figure out how to come to you with that. Mars is in retrograde, and Mars is a very violent planet. It will be in retrograde until November 14th. It's a planet of strength. It rules confidence, power, and aggression. The suggestion for Mars retrograde is think about how you handle conflict and pressure. Be aware of your grudges. Find the courage to confront someone if needed. And I'm also getting that with the masculines with their third party situation. And the Lenormand is indicative of that. They're wanting to leave home. Whether their home is with their family or a significant other, they've not really been strong enough within their self to branch out and make a successful go of being independent. So that's where they're heading, and they're trying to break away from your family, whether they're 18 years old like my son wanting to move out for the first time. He's the divine masculine. Or if they're 40 years old and they're trying to get out of a relationship with their baby mama or their wife or their parents that were controlling, any kind of situation that controls them. They're trying to break free of that, become independent so that they can offer you the cup of love. I mean, this is what they want to present with you. So with the feminines, we're crying a lot. We're having a lot of heartbreak over this situation. Um, we feel their emotions rather than hear them. And that's why it's so important to develop a relationship within yourself, within you, between you and your higher self. Because when you feel comfortable getting guidance from your higher self and your earthly guides, such as me or anybody else that you go to for spiritual advice, um, you don't have to discuss all these things out. We're meant to work things out within ourselves before we present it to the world. And I understand that people need counseling and things like that, but you can't bypass the work that you have to do. Spiritual bypassing leads to disaster every single time. You can't go straight to the mountaintop. So what the divine feminine with Three of Swords, she's seeing some separation and quarreling because she needs to be the Queen of Cups. She needs to control her emotions. And that's very hard as you're going through your shadow self. So a period of separation is not a horrible thing right now, if that's where you're at, because even though we live together and we're physically together, there are periods of emotional separation. You know what that love current feels like, divine femmes. You know that. When you are next to your masculine, you can feel energetically a current of love that is so healing and wonderful that you've never experienced with anybody else. Well, he feels the same thing, and that's what the Queen of Cups does. You have to be stable enough so that when your masculine comes to you after he's going through what he's going through, trying to break free from his foundation, that he finds peace. I like to use the term safe harbor or lighthouse. And on Saturn is in retrograde, which ends September 29th. So that's coming up pretty soon. But it's the planet of ambition. Saturn rules achievement, career, wealth, and business. So consider your long-term goals and responsibilities. Try to practice a little self-discipline. And that's what's so funny about controlling the emotions. That's a very disciplined process. We've been raised in a world where we're expected to lash out and with fake book, I call it, or ego book, pour all of our stuff out there for the world to sort through. Well, that's not how it works. You have to you have to wade through your own shit to get to greener pastures. I'm sorry about the wording, but that's the way it is. You have to own your shit, handle your shit, so you can be the shit. And the main focus that I've been hearing with the energy readings and stuff lately is for the divine feminine to stop focusing on this with your masculine. You're divinely guided. Okay? There's some things you've got to let go and let God. And releasing control over outcomes is the greatest thing you can ever do for yourself and your relationship with your masculine, and that only comes through inner child healing. It says ponder your boundaries, your authorities, and the roles you play with the people in your life. And these two cards, the passion and action that the Knight of Wands wants to bring into this relationship, the masculine, the Ace of Cups card here, when it came up and I was looking at it, I heard be the Empress. And you can see that I shuffled the deck and the Empress card came out under the masculine. And that's what he wants. He wants us to have our control of our emotions. We want this too, guys. This isn't just for him. You know, our life, we're tired of this emotional roller coaster we've been on for our entire life. It came long before our divine masculine got here. The purpose of the divine masculine is that it is now so strong a pull that you can't walk away from this. You can't. It's going to eat at you. You might can put it on the back burner for a day or two. You might can say, I'm done with them. That's not what you signed up for. Sorry, guys. I have begged and cried and screamed and said, I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were getting into before you came Earthside. And you came here for a reason. There's 3 circles on here. And when I was looking at the artwork description on here, I heard Mother Maiden Crone. And that's who she is. I mean, she's got her shit together. You know, this ascension process, we are striving to become basically immortal human beings. I know I have aged in reverse, as many people say. Since I've had a spiritual awakening, my appearance and mindset is more youthful now. And that has everything to do with the law of correspondence, as within, so without. You know, and that's what this card is about. You are a product of the stars, born of the earth. You are both divine and human. We have to forgive each other's humanity while recognizing the divinity within ourselves. There's one last card I'm going to get here from the Magdalene deck, I like these to use as a message from your divine masculine, because they don't know how to talk about their feelings, guys. They've been raised in trauma-based situations where they had to either lie to cover up what they've gone through, or just straight out, you know, be in denial about the truth of their situation. So it's funny that I talked about about Jesus here, because Universal Christ popped out, and this is a beautiful card. The emptiness you presently feel is helping you reconnect to aspects of your nature that you have kept repressed for some time. Let go of all the distractions that surround you at present and bring your awareness within. In the empty spaces of your solitude, you will find a hidden treasure. What's that? Go within. This is a profound period of self-discovery. You need only listen to the whispers inside your heart. Ask yourself what it is you truly want from life, and remember that when it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make leads to an outcome which is necessary for you to grow in love and wisdom. You will emerge from this phase with a clear direction for your life. As a result of this, some of your relationships are likely to go through major changes. Relationships that no longer serve you may come to an end, while others become stronger and more meaningful. Trust the inner guidance you receive. And that's where our masculines are, you know, they're having to let go of lifelong connections here. Connections that they have based their entire identity around sometimes. So as we traverse our period of self-discovery, please be patient with them as they do theirs. Try not to internalize what they're going through. They may have separated from you. There may be a lack of communication for a reason. You know, they don't want to bring any more burdens to the table. They want to present as this person. Benevolent, generous, stable, able to be the provider. If any of this resonated with you, and I hope it did, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And you can email me for a personalized reading. I love to go into numerology. I don't have time to do that in these recorded readings, but there's been lots of 10s pop up today, and that is a sign of completion. And whenever we complete a cycle, we're going to start another one. So let's, do the inner work, do the inner child healing, and make sure that, go to Sophia Charles Twin Flame Community. Make sure that you have the right guidance not false guidance. No amount of Reiki, which I'm a Reiki practitioner, no amount of outside methods. You can't pay somebody to take away your pain. You just can't. Just like with, counseling therapy. You can pay somebody to talk to all day long. If you don't go within and really examine what's going on within your psyche and within your soul, you know, it's gonna be a repeat of the same thing. So let's do the work and make sure that our wheel turns for the better.